Hi, I'm David. Welcome to Mentoring Masterminds, where we combine the expert-level insights we've gained as a top-rated mentoring software provider with real-world best practices from mentoring program leaders at leading companies. Previously, we covered how to get executive buy-in for mentoring programs. You can find the link right at the top or in the description. Today, we're going to narrow down that approach with some specific facts and data that will really drive that point home. Getting executive leaders to open the purse strings for software is never easy, but when you come armed with hard-to-argue facts and data, they're far more likely to get on board. We'll end this video with a special treat, an HR leader at a top company offering some sound advice on how to present data to leaders in a way that gets results. Make sure you like, subscribe, and bookmark our channel to get more actionable content like this. Many economists study the behavior of companies and individuals using a concept called peer effects. Peer effects describe how one's own behavior, or that of a company, is affected by the behavior of their peers. Some might call it peer pressure, but in a profit-driven business, whatever your successful peers are doing well is always worth considering and replicating. So here's a fact for you. We found that 92% of US Fortune 500 companies now offer mentoring programs. In 2009, 70% were offering mentoring to their teams, and in 2020, 84% were using mentoring as an engagement strategy. That data is pretty strong here. Successful companies are leaning into mentoring harder than ever. They recognize the value of social learning and meeting a variety of business objectives, and they're going all in when it makes sense for their companies. And here's a trade secret for you. Most are leveraging mentoring software because they realize that mentoring at scale is impossible without available tools for launching programs, matching participants, and measuring success. You can find a link to more data on Fortune 500 companies related to mentoring in the description. Executive leaders want to know what kind of results they're going to get. Commonly, they want to know exactly how mentoring programs will impact turnover and retention. That's an important metric, and there are two things you can point to. First, give them the data on turnover costs. According to Gallup, turnover costs a company anywhere between 1.5 to 2 times the average salary. You can get specific on them on this end. Identify the function or population where you want to establish mentoring. For example, maybe you want to create a DEI-focused mentoring program for women or Black employees. Then gather your turnover data and average salaries for that population. Next, do the math. What is the average cost of turnover among that population? If the average salary for your female employees is $65,000 per year, you average around 100 female employees at any given time, and your annual turnover for that population is 40%, turnover among female employees is likely costing you between $3.9 million and $5.2 million per year. Depending on your industry and the size of your organization, your numbers could be significantly higher. Keep in mind, despite notable layoffs in certain sectors, attracting and retaining employees is only getting more difficult. Engagement and retention are a priority now, especially with how costly it is to your business if you're losing employees too quickly. Okay, let's say you did the hard work of establishing some peer effects. Then you laid out just how much your company is losing by not switching engagement strategies. Now it's time to present why a software approach is necessary. For that, you'll need to push back on executive leaders who want to take a manual approach. There are many problems with that approach, but we'll focus on the human capital cost. Manually running mentoring programs takes more time and human capital to launch and manage. This limits how many participants you can reasonably expect to enroll in any program unless you employ an army of administrators whose sole job it is to run the program. Due to limitations in program size, your manually run program is not likely to have impressive results. Scale matters, and manual programs don't scale well without huge investments in administrative costs. Conversely, mentoring software solves those problems. It reduces administrative costs associated with launching, managing, and growing mentoring programs. Let's give you an example. We found that for a 100-person program with a 12-month cycle, the average administrative time investment for a manual program is about 200 hours. With the median salary for admins coming in at $104,000 per year and $50 per hour, that's $10,000 in administrative costs. Meanwhile, mentoring software reduces admin time investment down to 20 hours, or $1,000 in administrative costs. That's a 10x savings on a relatively small program. Now think about that at scale, because the cost of scaling is significantly less with software. It's possible to increase your cost benefit as you add more programs and increase your mentoring population. MentorcliQ even has customers who've seen over 100x on their investment with software. Impressive, right? But having all of this data handy won't get you anywhere if it's not presented well.
So just having the data is never enough. So what are some of the best ways to present the data that will have the most impact?
Sure. So I always like to keep it short and concise, get to the point right away. So we created slides that were key customized to share with the executives, had a meeting with them, and really made sure to bold, highlight the numbers, make sure that that was the big feature, that future state of where we wanted to be with mentoring, and really pointed out, again, where we're starting, where we were going to be, and the numbers was really what we made sure to share with them and highlight, and certainly left time for questions as well to make sure if there was anything that we hadn't answered thoroughly for them.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is you're not only giving them the rational piece, there's that emotional piece as they get to see how these things, they get to feel what it would be like to have it in their organization. The other thing, as you talked about, keeping it short, understanding your culture.
Sure.
And knowing how the executives like their presentation is helpful.
And we threw in a few kind of charts as well, just to make it more visual.
Okay.
Because that seemed to really speak to them. And we did put a few quotes in there as well, even though, the data and the numbers really spoke for themselves, that more qualitative appeal also was helpful to have in for a holistic presentation.
What facts and data would really drive the point home for your executives? Let us know in the comments below. A fact-driven and data-driven approach is a winning strategy for selling mentoring programs internally. Executive leaders want to know not only why mentoring matters, but how it will impact their core business objectives. Find the right data, then present that data in a snappy and informative way to really drive the point home. For even more mentoring tips, check out the links below the video or visit us at mentorcliq.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe to get updated mentoring best practices like these.